Good evening, everyone. As I mentioned in a few somewhat recent posts and maybe in a video or two, I should say my wife bought the Stardew Valley board game. A game by Cole Medeiros and Concerned Ape. A cooperative game of farming and friendship for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer that this is not a kind of video I make a lot. Hence, it's a somewhat clumsy setup. And I hope I'll be able to do it justice. The game, that is. I don't think I'll be able to fit everything on screen because there is also this whole tray of game pieces. I'm not sure what to call them. And there's another layer underneath which I'll get out momentarily. And there's a few other bits and bobs that are required for the game. Audio-wise, it's also a bit different because I'm using a lavalier mic for the first time on this channel. I think I've had it for a while, but I never really had a good occasion to use it. But, since this is not a video where I will be able to sit still very much and always be perfectly positioned relative to the mic, I thought I'd give this a try, and as I do, I don't have a backup mic running, so if this one doesn't turn out well, I'll just have to do the whole thing over. A quick look at the board, I suppose. If you played Stardew Valley, the actual video game, you will recognize some pieces, or some elements rather. And yeah, the idea of this video is just to go through the manual and teach you how to play, I suppose. I'm doing this by myself, obviously, so I won't actually be playing much. But this is more of a show and tell, I suppose. So on the top, I hope this is somewhat legible. On the very top you have the 6 community bundles, or I should say the 6 categories for community bundles as they are in the game. The crafts room, the pantry, the fish tank, the bulletin boards, the vault, and the boiler room. On the left, right here, is the farm with 5 slots for crops and some extra instructions. This represents the farm, essentially. You can see the bus right there. Here's the wizard's tower. No, the forest, I should say, with the wizard's tower, the pond, Marnie's farm / shop, even the little island as it is in the real game. Here, this fish track will become clear soon. The calendar, which doesn't, it doesn't serve an actual purpose, but this is where the season cards go. The town with all the houses as they are in the game. Pierre's shop, Gus, the community center, the railroad track at the top, which doesn't serve a purpose as such, but it's there. Then the mountain area with Robin, the mines, and the lake for fishing. Clint to open geodes. This section is the museum where you put minerals and artifacts you find. This thing is a kind of mini-game mechanic, I suppose, to determine what's inside various geodes. And here we have the beach with Willie's shop, and the piers, Elliot's house, etc. Yeah, so that's basically the board. Two things I missed. The levels is for the levels of the mines as you descend. And the maps are also related to the mines, but that will become clear soon, I hope. So let's just go through the manual. I say just, it might take a while. As you can see, I did not plan this as thoroughly as I probably should have. So there is the manual. I won't be reading everything, but hopefully I can determine on the fly which parts are more relevant than others, or relevant enough to read anyway. So if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature. So I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. Welcome to Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley, the board game, is a cooperative game of farming and friendship, inspired by Eric Barone's video game of the same name. In it, you will work together to fulfill Grandpa's goals and restore the community center, saving it from the nefarious Geodes Corporation. You will need to engage with all that the valley has to offer: crops, animals, hidden forageables, elusive fish, an unexplored mine, and of course the friendly locals. If you succeed, the valley will thrive. If you fail, Geodes Corporation moves in and the magic of the valley will fade. So yeah, the basic objectives are to complete 4 of Grandpa's goals and restore all 6 community center rooms before the season deck is exhausted, which marks the end of the year and the game. For more information, please visit stardewvalley.net. And then, yeah, it's table of contents and list of components. I'm not going to read through all this. So, yeah, very briefly, the table, maybe. List of components, setup, goals and bundles, community center bundles in detail, how to play, actions in detail, additional things, and symbol reference sheet. So, yeah, as you can see, there are various, or a lot of different components. I hope the pawns are still in the board, because my wife, as she likes to make crafty things, she made, custom pawns. Not really based on the game, but the basic pawns are just basic one color plastic pawns. And Anna, my wife, made pawns out of wood with her laser engraver / cutter. 3 Stardew dice, 3 animal dice, starting player token, aka the pet. I apologize for the poor lighting. Yeah. The 4-player mats, 19 starting tool cards, gold tokens, heart tokens, various cards, the tile supply tray, forageable and tree tiles, the organizer, which I'm not sure I will use, the artifact bag with artifacts and mineral tiles, and the fishing bag with fish, trash, and treasure tiles. Okay, then the setup. It's probably best if I don't leave the manual in place. I will still be reading a bit from it as I, set up the board and play a test round. But yeah, it's not very practical if the manual is covering most of the board. So I'll read through the steps and then I'll take the manual out of frame. So step 1, basic components. Step 2, tile tray and resource bags. Step 3, plant your first crop. Step 4, place forageables and trees. Step 5, see which fish are in season. Step 6, the mine. Step 7, the season deck. Step 8, the community center. Step 9, Grandpa's goals. Step 10, animals and buildings. 11, player setup. And 12, the pet token and starting gold. And then a little sub thing for the season deck. But yeah, let's get this out of the way. I don't really know how sensitive this microphone is, thus how careful I have to be with noises and such, but yeah. So, I'll make a bit of noise, but I'll cut it out because I have to take out the other trays. Okay, so back to step 1, basic components. Place the board in the middle of the table, or in this case, bed. Place beside it the Stardew dice. Wait, so let's do this first. Place beside it the Stardew dice, animal dice, and spouse pawn. Okay. You'll have to take my word that I'm placing it beside the board because I don't have much space in frame. So this is the Stardew, or one of the Stardew dice. With star fruit, or star drop, I should say. A heart and a Junimo. Focus. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then the animal dice with a chicken, a goat, and a duck, and a cow. Wait, there should be all animals. Yeah. So sheep as well. Cow, goat, duck, rabbit, and chicken. You can put them on the board and slightly go against the instructions. It's a bit lame if everything is out of view. Okay, then wait, the dice and the spouse pawn. I don't know where the original pawns are. They're somewhere in the house, but yeah, like I said, the 1 or 2 times we've played this game, we used the pawns that my wife made. So yeah, as such, there is no spouse pawn, since also the custom pawns are not in the box. I'm sure they're somewhere in a very illogical place. Okay, then shuffle and place the following decks face down along with the stack of geode tiles. The villagers. So yeah, this is, they're not totally separated. So yeah, here are the villager cards. Which should have all the villagers. Jody, Lewis, George, Gus, Willie, Harvey, Shane with his chicken, Leah, Pierre, Robin, Haley, Evelyn, Linus, Maru, Elliot, Emily, Pam, the Wizard, Vincent, hang on, Alex, Clint, Demetrius, the Dwarf, Marnie, Sebastian, Penny, Jazz, Caroline, and Abigail. So I'm not going to shuffle these because it doesn't really matter. So shuffle and place face down anywhere. Doesn't say where. Let's put them here. Then the items deck, which is I assume it's these. Yeah. So we have epic items and normal items out of focus. So these are all the items ranging from golden scrolls, geodes and ore, magic rock candy, wild bait. Actually, let's check them all out because there's no way we'll see them otherwise. So golden scroll, hay, staircase, straw hat, Should I read all the effects? No, that would take too long. I apologize. I have to cut out some things. The torch, or a torch. Tub o' flowers. Warp totem. Dinosaur. Auto grabber. Mixed seeds. Wait, can I lock the focus? Crops, animal products, heater, geodes and ore, magic rock candy, wild bait, honey, wine, rare crow, a secret note, wild seeds, shears, pet bowl, mega bomb, prismatic shard, rain totem, backpack upgrade, bait, beer, incubator, Joja cola, Lewis's purple shorts, bomb, campfire, the catalog, cherry bomb, chest, clay, coffee, life elixir, energy tonic, field snack, crab pot, pink cake, miner's treat, pearl, oil of garlic, and decorations. My back is not going to like me after this because it's kind of an awkward sitting position, but we will endure. Let's put all this here for now. Then the epic items, which there aren't as many of, luckily. So milk pail, mermaid's pendant, dark shrine, galaxy sword, minecart, horse, copper pan, gold clock, Junimo hut, crystallarium, statue of endless fortune, ancient fruit, the greenhouse, deluxe scarecrow. Is that a thing? I've never heard of deluxe scarecrows. Solid gold Lewis, return scepter, star drop, and Prairie King arcade system. So this can go there. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera, but I'm having to tap. I'm recording with my phone and I'm having to tap the screen to fix the focus. Two more decks. The events. Not sure where those are. So that's all these events. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all these because it's going to take hours. But a quick flick through them. Like I mentioned, we played this once or twice with friends. I mean, we were at friends. The first time We played it with my wife and her best friend, as her husband was sick at the time. In the morning after, I played with just, the best friend. So I'm by no means fluent at this game. Oops, there's a normal item in with the epics. Let's try to be a bit more space efficient. Okay, and then the mine events, which are these, I suspect. Yeah. Mine event. A light in the dark. Empty. Okay. That's not, something else will have to go here, so we'll have to rearrange a bit. Put the dice somewhere else. Let's put the dice here for now, because it doesn't really matter. These have to be upside down. And then the geode tiles look like this. Join us, thrive. So yeah, they're essentially all debuffs, like hindrances to the game. What is this? Permit required. No fishing allowed at the lake. Toxic algae bloom. No fishing allowed at the ocean. So yeah. That's those. Where can I put these? Right, that's step 1 of 12. Okay, step 2, tile tray and resource bags. Place the tile tray near the board. It contains resource tiles for crops, animals, and more. So that's this stuff, basically. All your crops and your animal products, and also these, which are geodes, which contain copper ore. Apologies for the lack of focus. Frozen geodes, which contain iron ore. Magma geodes with gold ore. And omni geodes with iridium ore. Then place the 2 bags near the tile tray, which are this bag, which has all the fish. I'm not going to show them all, but you have rainbow trout, upside down perch, crayfish, salmon, tiger trout, and also all the legendary fish, which I'm not going to fish for in this bag. And the second bag is this one with so they're double-sided. On one side is always a mineral, in this case granite, and on the other side an artifact, in this case ancient seed. And you have obsidian and rare disc. And fairy stone and anchor, and loads more. So place the two bags near the tile tray. Put all the artifacts and minerals into the gray bag, and all the fish tiles into the blue bag. This is where you'll draw artifacts and minerals or fish from when needed. Okay, whoops. I missed one mudstone and dwarf scroll 2. Crocodile is under the bed currently. I don't know what she's doing. Okay, then step 3, plant your first crop. Put 1 parsnip in the second field slot. So 1 parsnip in slot 2. They're also double-sided. On the back side is the quality crop with the star. On the front is the normal one. Note, crops are double-sided. Yeah, that's what I just said. The front is normal and the back is quality. Crops are always planted normal side up. Step 4. Place forageables and trees. Mix the 11 spring forageable tiles and put 1 face down in each foraging spot on the board. Place the 4 spring tree tiles on the tree spots leaf side up. Place remaining forageables and trees nearby for future use. The spring forageables are the pink ones. So yeah, you have the pink ones for spring, the green ones for summer. Out of focus, but it doesn't matter. The yellowish ones for fall. And the blue ones for winter. But we need the pink ones. So those with the trees are the tree tiles, obviously. The forageables go on the spots with the little mushroom, and the trees on the tree spots. Just, the tree ones contain wood, and the forageables have various things, like the typical forageables, daffodils. I'm cheating because I'll know where this goes, but it doesn't really matter. Stone. Leek. Etc. Yeah, there's horseradish, the worms, which is kind of a special one. Two kinds of worms, actually. These ones for artifacts, and these ones for minerals. Okay, so forageable here, there, 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 and I seem to be, either I missed one or I misplaced one somewhere else, because I have one extra. I'm not sure where it goes. It's strange. I'm sure there were exactly enough. Okay, and then trees on the tree spots. Again, one extra, and either I'm blind or there is supposed to be one extra. It does say place remaining forageables and trees nearby for future use, so I guess it's okay that there are extra. Right, that's step 4. Make sure I'm still recording. Step 5, see which fish are in season. Draw 5 random tiles from the fishing bag and put 1 in each slot on the fish track. Always fill empty slots starting with the rightmost spot. Okay, so we draw from the blue bag. We have a clam, rainbow trout. That was maybe one of the more confusing things, crayfish, about the game, is that all the fishing is in the one fish track. Tiger trout and salmon, because it's not like there are 3 fish tracks for the lake, the river, and the ocean, which would disregard some of the unique locations, because some fish are only caught like in the secret woods. You have the mud skip, but that's not on the map even. And I'm sure there is one kind of fish that's only in the forest pond, but I'm not sure which one. Okay, so that's step 5. Then step 6, the mine. Sort the mine level deck by number so that level 1 is on top and level 12 is on the bottom. Place this stack face up onto its space on the board so that level 1 is showing. So that's... no, these are the maps. Wait. These are the mine levels from 1 all the way to 12, but they're not in the right order. 10, wait, let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so these go there. I might not be able to reach the far side of the board. Then shuffle the map cards deck and draw one. Place this revealed map card face up on the board in its space next to the mine levels. So yeah, these are the mine maps, property of the Adventurers Guild. They're all just various configurations of stone geodes, ores, stairs. I think these are events, bug meat, and skulls, which I forget what they do, but we'll get to those shortly. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not good at shuffling. But we'll draw one and place this here. And the rest off to the side. Then step 7, the season deck. Build the season deck. See details on the next page. Okay. And place it face down in the season space on the board. For your first game, it's recommended that you use only the standard season cards. That was actually a bit, kind of a funny story, because if we read the instructions about how to build the season deck, it says find the 16 standard season cards, separate these, but we used all the season cards. But, learning mistakes. So, wait, these are not all season cards. So, these are the season cards. They're not sorted correctly. Okay, so find the 16 standard season cards. Actually, I forgot to show you. For example, if we find the spring ones, this is a spring season card. And, they're all basically the same kind of card, but one's for summer, winter, and fall. I'll be honest, I forget what the special or what the non-standard cards look like. Oh, okay. So here it says standard. These are all standard cards. Oops. I'll have to sort these properly in a minute. Whereas on all these, it doesn't say standard. So this is basically just a way to lengthen or shorten the game, because because the game just takes longer. So I have the 16 standard season cards and separate these by season into 4 piles. So What am I doing? This is the last day of spring. We don't need that just yet. So these should all be standard, 4 per season to make 16 total. So these are the spring ones. That's not where they go yet, but I'm trying to not skip any steps. So these are the ones for winter, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fall ones, 1, 2, 3, and 4, minus the Spirit's Eve card. And then 4 summer cards. Okay, turn the cards face down and randomize the order of each season's cards. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to shuffle them. Place each set of 4 on top of its matching season end cards, also face down. Okay. So here we have the last day of spring. That goes face down, and then the season cards on top. The summer, last day of summer, cards on top. And then they have to go in the correct order, of course. So spring first, then summer. Wait, so you don't have the this Dance of the Moonlight jellies? You're not supposed to use this then, or does it not matter? It's a bit confusing, I'll be honest. Winter has ended with the winter cards on top. Those go at the bottom. And then the fall, last day of fall with the season cards on top. It's a bit confusing. I'm sure we'll get to this later, but it's kind of weird that the festivals are not... No, it's not the right card. It's weird that the festivals are not in the standard deck. So you have Spirit's Eve, Festival of Ice. It's getting a bit too dark. I'll have to turn on the light. The Flower Dance and Dance of the Moonlight jellies. But I guess they're not required. So we have winter last, then fall, and then spring and summer. It doesn't do all that much for the light. Okay, apologies if it's getting a bit too dark, but there's not much I can do. Okay, that's step 7. Then step 8, the community center. For each community center room, draw 1 random bundle that matches the room. Do not look at it. Place each bundle face down onto its matching room. Set the remaining cards aside as you most likely won't need them. Okay. So yeah, here we have the community center cards for all the various things. So for each room, draw one random bundle. Do not look. I'll guess we just go with the first one of each room that I come across. So this one for the fish tank, which goes there. That's quite the stretch. Then the first one for the crafts room. The pantry. The bulletin board. The boiler room. And the vault. Oops. Okay. Step 9, Grandpa's goals. Those are these envelope cards with goals such as make friends, 3 friends by the end of the game, raise animals, restore the museum, expand the farm, catch legendary fish, upgrade starting tools, explore the mine, and save enough gold. So, quick shuffle, but it doesn't matter. Shuffle the gold deck and draw 4 cards. Place these face up on Grandpa's letter at the top of the board. These are your goals for the game. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Face up. So we have the gold 1. Explore the mine. Reach level 12 of the mine. Upgrade starting tools. And catch legendary fish equal to the number of players. Okay. Then step 10, animals and buildings. Create 2 stacks of animal tiles near the left edge of the board, separated by type, coop or barn. Okay. Yeah, so here we have animal tiles with duck, rabbit, barn, cow, goat, sheep, oops, chicken, etc. So 2 stacks of animals separated by type. Where am I going to do this? I thought there were more animals. Anyway, So create 2 stacks of animal tiles near the left edge of the board. So we'll put the coop animals there, the barn animals here. Place the coop building tile on top of the coop animal stack. So that's this one on top of the coop animals, and the barn tile on top of the barn animals. Randomly draw 2 other building tiles to place beside the coop and barn. Return the rest to the box. Okay, they're not going to be random, but we have silo, the well, stable, shed, mill, farmhouse, and shipping bin. Gain the mermaid's pendant epic item. Okay, so semi-randomly, let's get, or actually not randomly at all, the farmhouse there and the shipping bin there. Okay, step 11, the penultimate step. Player setup. Each player selects a player mat to determine their profession and takes the matching colored pawn. Then each player chooses which starting tool deck to claim, watering can, hoe, fishing rod or pickaxe, and places it on their player mat with level 0 face up on top. So these are the player mats. Advantages in the mines help you deal with monsters. Foraging, farming, and fishing. I'm not going to bother with this too much. That was also kind of a confusing thing, because you would think that whoever has the fishing card would get the rod as their starting tool. But from what I understand, that's not necessarily how it works. Like, you can have the fishing mat but still have the hoe or whatever as your tool, which is a bit weird. I'm not sure that's how it works. So these are the tool cards: hoe, copper, iron, gold, iridium, pickaxe, copper, iron, gold, iridium, training rods, bamboo, fiberglass, iridium, the water can, which is a bit mixed up. So watering can, copper, iron, gold, iridium. So I'm just gonna put these here. It doesn't really matter that much. I don't really have space. If I tweak this just a bit, maybe I can finesse it somehow. So let's say we have the fishing thing, and we would somewhat logically use the fishing rod as our starting tool. So So that's all these. Place it on the player mat with level 1 face up on top. So like this. The others can go somewhere else. Okay, and then step 12 is the pet token, which is this with cat or dog. And starting gold. Whoever recommended playing the game chooses the starting player and gives them the pet token. The group decides which pet they prefer, cat or dog. The players as a team collectively start with a total of 3 gold. So you have, if I can get them out, you have coins of 5, single ones, and coins of 10. So we as a team start with 3. 1, 2, 3. Can go here, barely in shot. I believe that's it for the setup. I'm not going to tear this all down and record a future video at another time. Just gonna go through the whole thing and maybe I'll split it up in a few videos, but we'll see. So this is the starting layout example. Your gold, the dice, the whatever that is. I have the coop things in the barn. Why is it? Oops. I didn't realize this has an up and a back side. It does make sense to have this side face up because it says how much it costs to build. So let's flip these. Like so. The fishing bag, forageables and trees for next season, they're still in the box, doesn't matter. The resource tray, the pet token, starting gold, player mat with your tool, player pawn, which I don't have. I'm gonna have to find something else to use as a pawn, I suppose. The season deck, villager deck, event deck, epic item deck, normal item deck, spouse pawn, which we don't have, Joja tiles, mine event deck, map card deck, artifact mineral bag, profession upgrade decks. They didn't mention this, or did they? It's kind of weird. I don't think they mentioned this in the instructions. They have these profession upgrade cards, which should be face down, and then you draw one and can be various things like bone sword, geologist. Oh, it depends on which ones, miner or geologist. prospector or blacksmith, aquamarine ring. Oops. Yeah. Bee house, kegs, cheese press, tapper, shells and coral, scythe, axe. Yeah. So these should also get a place somewhere. Let's put those here for now. Okay. And then at the top, the goals, the bundles. Okay. Just skimming through this to see if there's anything more interesting. So I'm just reading bits and pieces, essentially. About the community centers, or community center, rather. To restore a room, you must reveal and complete one of several bundles that relate to the room. Each bundle requires a unique type of donation. To complete a particular bundle, you must donate it to a number of times equal to the number of players. When you have completed 6 bundles, one related to each of the 6 rooms, the community center is restored. But yeah, you have to flip them first, which is a separate step to know which bundle you're actually dealing with. So for example, once players donate spring forageable tiles equal to the number of players, the crafts room is restored. If the bundle is, to collect spring forageables. Bundles start out hidden. At the start, you won't know exactly how to restore the community center because bundles begin the game face down. This will be explained later in greater detail, but essentially resources are gifted to villagers to gain hearts. And hearts are spent to reveal each room's bundle card. Very briefly, craft room requires forageables and materials. Pantry requires farm goods from crops and animals. The fish tank requires certain types of fish. The bulletin board requires different types of goods, as well as heart tokens. The vault requires donations of gold, and the boiler room requires mine resources. I'm thinking how to do this somewhat efficiently. Yeah, I think from now on I'm just gonna, fake play the game and hopefully make it through a few rounds without getting too confused. But there's one page about adjusting the game difficulty. The basic game is described in the rules above, but players may wish to make a game easier for teaching new players or harder for advanced players. The game ends the instant your objectives are complete. Choose a mode at the start of the game. So the easiest is Seedling. Seedling is great for teaching the game or striving for a personal record without the stress. Only requires to complete 4 of Grandpa's goals. The Honest Farmer is the standard way to play. Complete 4 of Grandpa's goals and complete 6 bundles, 1 per room, to restore all 6 community center rooms. And Artisan is the advanced mode, providing experienced players with the greatest challenge. Complete 4 goals, complete 6 bundles, and no Joja tiles remain on the board. Optional season cards. In the setup described at the start of this rulebook, you were instructed to use the standard season cards. This provides the most consistent and predictable experience. When you become more familiar with the game, you may wish to try a season deck with a few more surprises. To do so, create each season by drawing 4 random season cards from all 20 available for each season. Extra challenge, Artisan scoring. If you want an even greater challenge, build your season deck to include more cards with the Joja symbol. Play on Artisan difficulty. You cannot win unless all Joja tiles are cleared. Your score if you win is equal to the number of Joja tiles removed. And to make the game easier, try starting with 1 or more community center bundles revealed face up. So, yeah, let's build your season deck to include more cards with the Joja symbol. That's about this, which we'll get to in a minute because I skipped ahead to this section. But we'll get into the actual steps in just a minute. And then adjusting the game length. A normal game that spans the entire year with 20 cards in the season deck will usually take about 40 minutes per player. If you desire a quicker game, try each season has only 2 season cards instead of 4. Only reveal and complete 2 of Grandpa's goals, or randomly choose 3 community center rooms and place bundles face down for them. The community center is considered restored after these 3 bundles are completed. And lastly, the solo play rules. Stardew Valley, the board game, is easily playable solo. The only difference is with professions. You are not limited to the profession on your player mat. Instead, when you gain a profession upgrade at the end of a season, draw 3 cards from any combination of the 4 profession decks and reveal them simultaneously. You may choose 1 to keep and discard the others. Okay. There's a quick rules reference, which I'm not going to read because we're going to get through the how to play steps. So I'm not going to hold this in front of the camera, but how to play. Each round in the game follows these steps. Season phase, draw a season card and carry out its instructions. Planning phase, where players discuss their plans and place their pawns at any location. And action phase, beginning with the starting player, each player takes a turn. Once your turn is complete, place your pawn back on the farmhouse. You may then choose 1 type of end of turn effect listed on the board beside the farmhouse and trigger it as much as you are able. Once each player has taken a turn, the round ends and a new round begins. The game ends when players complete their objectives or when the final season card is drawn. Okay, so maybe this is better to show you. So step 1, the season phase. The player with the pet token draws a season card and follows its instructions from top to bottom. Festival cards have a single effect written on the card, whereas each regular season card shows a unique sequence of icons. Each icon triggers an effect. Okay, so let's draw a season card. We have star, water drop, cat, or pet, I should say, fish, and shipping bin. Put this here. So we have the star, which means quality crop. Flip any planted crop so that its quality side is face up. Okay, let's do that. We only have one crop. That's our parsnip. Then the water drop means rain. Move all planted crops one space to the right. Anything that moves off the track is harvested and goes to the starting player. Okay, so we move, one space to the right. Then thirdly, we have the pet wanders. The starting player passes the pet token to the player on their left, which is not applicable, but then you pass this one along to the next player. Then we have the fishing thing, fish move. Discard the 2 rightmost fish tiles from the fish track. Slide remaining tiles to the right to fill the empty slots, and draw new tiles to populate the vacant slots. Legendary fish are not discarded, but instead returned to the bag. Okay, so discards the 2 rightmost fish. Slide the remaining fish tiles to the right and draw 2 new ones from the bag. A tuna and trash. Okay, and then lastly on the card is the shipping bin. Players may trade and sell resources, which I'm not going to do because I don't have resources yet. So that was our season phase. Then the planning phase. Players discuss their plans and place their pawns at any location. And more instructions. Players may trade item cards or resource tiles during this phase, as well as discuss their intentions for the turn. Each player then places their pawn onto any location. This does not count as movement. Once everyone is happy with their placement, proceed to the action phase. So, for lack of player pawns, we'll just use a heart thingy. So I think from memory, technically you start here at the farm. So let's say I want to go mine I would put my pawn there. And then we move on to the action phase. Players take actions and move on the board. The starting player, the player with the pet token, begins and must finish all of their actions before the next person starts their turn. Play proceeds clockwise. Players choose during their turn how they would like to carry out actions. They may either do action plus action, take 2 actions at your current location, no movement is allowed unless by using some special ability, or action plus move plus action, take 1 action at your current location, then move 1 space along a path, then take 1 action at your new location. Okay, so let's say, since I'm at the mines, I will explore the mines. Also, just to finish this bit, when you complete your last action, you return your pawn to the farmhouse and may trigger any one end of turn effect as much as you like. Once everyone has gone, the round ends. Movement allows foraging. Whenever a player moves their pawn along a path, meaning along one of the white lines, they may take one of the face-down forageable or tree tiles, not both, from an area that shares a border with that path. This is automatic and does not count against the allowance of 2 actions per turn. Most forageable tiles and some trees can be harvested from more than 1 path. If you reveal a worms tile, look at the icon on the bottom right to see if you found an artifact or a mineral. Discard the tile and draw from the artifact and mineral bag, keeping the resource type that was specified. With a bit more graphic or visual explanations. Okay. Then these are the actions in detail, but I'll just explain them as I do them. I think that makes more sense than reading them all first and then reading them again when I do them. But just to get an overview, the actions include water crops, collect from animals, buy animals, buy and plant seeds, make a friend, reveal and donate to bundles, open geodes, donate to museum, buy buildings, explore the mine, fishing, 2-page instructions, and then the end of turn effects. So I said I wanted to mine. So the mine is a source for stones, ore, geodes, and more, but beware of dangerous monsters. Spend 1 action at the mountain location to roll 2 Stardew dice and see what you encounter. The current map card shows what the outcome of your roll will be. Use the results of your roll to indicate a row and column. You choose which die symbol is used for a column and which for a row, and trigger the grid space where they meet. Okay, so where are my dice? Roll 2 Stardew dice, so that's these ones. Try to do this as gently as possible, which is not that easy. So we have a heart and a Junimo. Then, wait, if we get this a little closer. So we have a heart and a Junimo, which means it would be either this, which is a geode, or this, which means gain 1 available ore, or 2. The mine level card specifies available ore types. So I think I want the geodes. And yeah, I don't know if you can read that, but at the top there it says ore is copper and the geodes are the normal ones. So I will pick the geodes. Gain 1 available geode. So we take from the, or actually should I take 2? Because the geode only contains copper. Wait, I'm getting confused. I made it a bit more confusing than it needed to be, but you have the geodes with ores on the back, as I showed at the beginning. But in this case, we just keep the geodes. And I suppose that concludes that action, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I suppose. So that was that. And since I have a geode which I would like to open, let's put our dice back. I will go to Clint. Along that path I will pick up this forageable, which is a daffodil. And then at Clint's we will choose the open geodes action. Spend 1 action to break open any number of geodes. For each geode, roll 1 Stardew die. Consult the chart on the boards to see your result and discard the geode. Though if the result is ore, you can just flip the geode over. Makes sense. So 1 Stardew die. It's a lame roll. And then, yeah, you can't really see on the boards perhaps, but that's this little chart. So we rolled a heart, which means from the normal geodes we get stone. Okay. I apologize, but actually she should apologize for just jumping on the board. Okay, so we discard this geode and we get 1 stone. And that concludes our turn, pretty much. So we return to the farm, and here we can trigger an end of turn effect, which is either build staircase, Discard a number of stones equal to the number of players to descend in the mine. Pet animals, remove geode, upgrade starting tool. Well, to upgrade the rod we need 5 gold, so we can't do that. There are no geode tiles yet, and we don't have animals, but I can discard 1 stone since there's only 1 player and descend in the mine, so I will do that, I think. Let's put this back there. So discard the stone, and now we go to level 2, which still has the copper and the normal geodes. Yeah, and here at the top it says what the skull does. So, yeah, as you go deeper, the effect of those skulls just gets progressively worse. Okay, and that's the end of my turn. I don't think there's much point in going through the whole game, so I think I'll do maybe 1 or 2 more turns and go through anything in the manual that I didn't specifically read yet, and that's actually relevant. But most of it should become relevant as we play. But maybe if there's interest from you guys, I could try to play a solo game, like the shortest possible. Because there will inevitably be things, or game mechanics that haven't really been shown in this video because they weren't applicable yet. These should go here and not in the discard pile. This one should go there. So yeah, for now I'll do 1 or 2 more turns, and if there's interest from you guys, I can do a short-ish game in a future video just to actually play and not spend so much time going through the instructions. And hopefully without without cats jumping on the board. I can't believe she did that. So yeah, my turn again. I will go to Pierre's to buy some seeds, and then let's try to make a friend, maybe. Although no, because to make friends you need gifts, I'm pretty sure. So let's go fish at the ocean. So we'll get our makeshift pawn, go to Pierre, so buy and plant seeds. Spend 1 action to visit Pierre's general store, where you can buy seeds and sell resources, as many as you wish. Seeds, crop tiles of the current season only, cost 1 gold each and are planted immediately upon purchase into an empty field. The crop's watering cost shows which numbered field it must be placed into. Normally only 1 crop tile may be in each field slot, no stacking. Or selling resources, which I'm not going to do, but might as well read that bit. While at Pierre's, you can also sell any resources from your inventory for gold. This can be done in any order with planting seeds. On most turns, you'll be able to sell goods via the shipping bin on season cards, but sometimes that isn't available, in which case you'll want to use this action if needed. Okay, so I will buy, they all cost 1 gold each. So let's plant a potato, I guess. No, it goes in, this means it goes in slot number 3. And we will be fair and actually pay. So that's that action, and then I said I was going to fish at the ocean. On the way I will pick up this, which is a minerals worm, which means I can draw 1 tile from the mineral and artifact bag, and it has to be the mineral, so we have hematite. Okay, and that's the end of my turn. So back to the farm, and I forgot to draw a season card. Okay, we'll skip that for now. I can't do any end of turn effects, I believe. No, I don't think so. So, new turn, this time with season cards, which I forgot. We have a green crow, which is a new thing. I'm not sure where that's explained. I know what it means, but I want to see if I can explain it the correct way. Okay. So, green crow and red crow. Choose one of your crops in a green field to be discarded, or in a red field for the red crow. Field 3 is both red and green. Yeah, you should be able to see here, 5, 4, and half of 3 are red, and then from 3 to 1 is the green crow. And we have the green crow, so we have to discard either the parsnip or the potato. So let's get rid of the potato, I suppose. Sadly. Then we have a gift, which I think is not going to be relevant. So the gift means each player chooses one of their befriended villagers and activates their gift ability. Then trigger the effect of all non-villager cards with gift symbols. It's a bit confusing, but yeah, we don't have befriended villagers yet. And we don't have cards with gift symbols. I'm trying to think which ones that would be. I think on some of these there is a gift. Yeah. So on some of the item cards you have this gift icon, so that activates when there's a gift on the season card. In this case, discard to gain any 2 crops from supply. So you would have this in your inventory. You can't really see, but there are spaces for items. So that would be there, and then when you have a gift card on the season card, or gift icon, I mean on the season card, you could use this and, use this effect. But that is not applicable now. So we move on to the question mark, which is an event. The starting player draws an event card and resolves its effects. So we draw from this pile. Needy animals. Flip all owned animals to their opposite side. It's not relevant because we don't have animals yet. And the shipping bin, which means that we may trade or sell resources. I'm not going to sell the hematite, I think. And the daffodil is only 1 gold, so I'm not going to do that either. Okay, and then we have the planning phase. So this turn I am going to donate this hematite to the museum. And then I will, I suppose, try to make a friend. I forget how that works, but we'll see. So I'll move here. Donate to museum, which is explained here. If you have artifacts or minerals, you may visit Gunther to donate them to the museum. I'm losing the ability to read and to talk. Spend 1 action to donate any number of artifacts or minerals from your inventory to the museum. Each tile donated earns you 1 heart token. Each tile must be placed into an empty slot that matches the letter on the left-hand side of the tile. The museum has 8 slots, each with a letter A to H. The museum grants up to 2 epic items, 1 per column filled. Tiles with question mark can go into any slot. Okay, so we have this hematite, which goes into slot G. And we get 1 heart token. So that is that, and then I was going to try to make a friend. I'll uncover this forageable, which is fiber. It's kind of useless. And then to make a friend, what does it say? To make a friend, spend 1 action in town and reveal the top card of the villager deck. If you're able and wish to do so, gift them a resource to make them your friend. Otherwise, discard them. To give a gift, discard a resource item from your inventory and then keep the villager card and earn a heart token. How many heart tokens you earn depends on the gift type and the current season. Important, any resources can be gifted as long as it isn't hated and doesn't display the no gift icon. So yeah, this on the fiber, this means you can't give it as a gift, but I could gift my daffodil if they don't hate it. So we have the villagers. I'm gonna shuffle them again because I know that Abigail is on the bottom, or on the top rather. Okay, so we have Harvey. He loves parsnip and forageables. Or that's not parsnips, that's just general crops. And he hates fish and animal products. That's good, so we can discard the daffodil and pretend that we're gifting it to him. Then we get 2 hearts. And I'm not sure what the winter birthday means. Their birthday season. Okay, if the current season matches their birthday. So yeah, we don't get this because it's spring and his birthday is in winter. Okay, so now we have a friend, I suppose. And then also related to friends, gift abilities. When a gift symbol appears on the season card, each player may choose one of their friends and activate the villager's gift ability. So again, that's this, which wasn't relevant in this turn. But his gift ability is to gain 1 item, so we could draw 1 red item. Okay, this is actually kind of fun, but I feel like this video is already way longer than I wanted it to be. So we'll call it quits here. Hopefully that gave you some, some basic explanation of how the game works. And like Rokola being annoying again on the stairs, probably playing with trash. But yeah, like I said, if there would be interest from you, or maybe even if there won't be, because this is Pascudo. Oh, sorry about the noise. If there is interest from you, I will gladly do another video where I just play, maybe through the whole game in 1 or a few videos. But for now, I think this is plenty long. So yeah, again, I hope this was in any way entertaining, relaxing. If you were already interested, or if you knew about the game but you weren't really that familiar, maybe this made you more or less certain to buy it. It's really fun. I do like board games and card games and stuff, but it's kind of rare to find a game where you're not playing against the other players, but You're just working together to complete all the grandpa goals and the bundles and stuff, and it's just a bit more pleasant of a vibe sometimes. I read complaints that the game, or that the board game, is overly complicated and doesn't really, how to explain. It's too complicated for a board game, and it's not as fun as just playing the video game, because there's a lot more to do in the video game. The board game is limited, obviously, in what you can and can't do, which makes sense, but to some people it's overly simplified compared to the video game, while also being weird and a bit complicated as a board game. So yeah, that's something you'll have to make out for yourself rather. I do enjoy it. It was kind of intimidating at first because there's quite a lengthy setup process, as you now know. But I'm sure that once meaning you and myself, or me and Anna and friends, once we play it a few times, it will become pretty automatic how to do the setup and stuff. So there is this quick reference thing with a setup checklist, because by then you know what everything does. It's just to make sure that everything is set up correctly. But you won't have to refer to the manual as much, because you will know how the basic mechanics work. I'm starting to ramble and starting to repeat myself, so I will leave it at that. If there will be a future video of just playing the game, maybe I can think of a better way to set it up camera-wise, because this was not ideal. But in a pinch, I think it worked okay, so yeah, that's not really something to worry about. As always, thank you very much for watching and for listening. I hope you had as much fun watching as I did going through this. I like organizing things and, setting things up, like board games like this. And I like games with a lot of bits. It's not weird at all. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.